and always knows the number. So with that said, I then take a breath, slow it down a minute, and tell you who we are and what we do. It's Jennifer and Richard. I own Jericho Nursery on Alameda, just east of 2nd Street, literally on the railroad tracks on the north side of the road. We've been in business in Albuquerque for 20 plus years and are grateful to continue to offer products and service in the nursery category. We have dibble and dabble in lots of other things, and I think one of the things we're probably known for, I spend a lot of money advertising, and yet when I ask people who tell me it's their first time there, how they found us, because I want to know, does the advertising work? They inevitably say, driving by the product that you have that I can see from the road, which is the Mexican stuff, all the metal art, chimeneas, all of that stuff that really pops in color, sun faces, just structures, metal structures. The other thing that I'm going to put on my reader board, and I'm trying to write a new ad because my advertisement right now is several years old. And somebody asked me yesterday, I hadn't been in the nursery in a week, and somebody said, "You're the guy on the radio, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm that guy." So I bought this radio program before I opened my business. The company I worked for before was closing. I've loved doing this program prior to opening my business, and I bought it before I opened my business. And my father said, "Now, there are some things you might want to sleep on before you decide." Because I came home from the negotiation and said, "Guess what?" He said, "What?" I said, "I bought a radio program." He said, "You bought a radio program?" I said, "Yeah, it cost this much a week. It's gone up since then." He says, "So your career of 25 years and the company you work for is closing. You don't have a source of income, and you bought a radio program?" I said, "Yep, sure enough." And I continue to love doing it, and it offers me the opportunity to be in the public's viewpoint. We did that through COVID. But anyway, yesterday somebody had come into the nursery, got their question answered. I kind of avoided them when I first got there because I hadn't been there and I had some stuff in my hand. And then she came back by me and she said, "You're the guy on the radio. Maybe you could answer my question." Because I'm the authority, quote unquote, air quotes in the air, people want to hear it from me. Looked like Spittlebug, and either Heather or Wendy had told her that. She needed to hear it from me. And I said, "Looks like Spittlebug, try a hose. If a hose doesn't work over the next couple of weeks, then go to an oil spray." But she said, "You're the guy on the radio, right?" I said, "I am." So what I'm putting on the reader board, we have a reader board in front of the property, I humbly am proud of. Those two words hard to say in the same sentence. Yeah, I'm the guy on the radio. And it doesn't take 3 words before people know the voice. And so I try and make the best use of that. And so this show is to answer gardening questions. Of course, it's supported by our company. And the knowledge base that we have and the integrity we have and the honesty we have, and trying to continue to offer a product that is quality, but service that is second to none. That's who we are, and that's what we do. We've been doing it for 20 plus years. Jennifer has joined right with me from the day from before I opened the company. She was out of town and called me because she had the sense to leave our previous employer before I did, and said, "So what's going on?" I said, "Well, today was my last day, and I'm opening my business tomorrow." I literally left my previous employer. I don't have to hide that. Maybe it makes the ad, maybe it doesn't. Roland's was my previous employer. I worked there 25 years. So I left Roland's on a Friday afternoon, not by my choice, but by the owner saying, "It's time. Anytime this week." I said, "Today." So that afternoon, I went home. Jen called me and said, "So what's going on?" I said, "Today was my last day." She said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm opening Jericho." And she said, "When?" I said, "Tomorrow." And she said, "Well, who's keeping the books?" I said, "I don't know. God told me to open Jericho, not keep books." Las Vegas, Nevada, that afternoon, that evening, I knock on the door, open the door, Jen standing there with the books and said, "I guess I'll keep the books." And 20 years later, we now have bookkeepers, financial people.
Thank God.
Landscape design.
Not my
type
strong
stuff.
suit.
So, a wing and a prayer, we just jumped in with both feet and said, let's go. And I am grateful that we are considered, again, I'm not trying to sound arrogant. We are considered the most knowledgeable nursery in town. I don't think there's any question of that to anybody, even in the industry. I don't think that any of the other nurseries would have a problem saying, you really want to know, you want a second opinion, go down to Jericho and ask them because they'll know. And we may not know, but we adopt and adapt the comma. I don't know, comma. Let's find out. Let's find out together. Let's see what we can do. Let's tackle all our resources. Let's open all of the opportunities that we have to us without trusting AI and Google, because sometimes they're wrong. I grew up here.
A lot of times they're wrong.
Yeah, I grew up in this industry. My first recollection is a picture of me on a tractor before I was in grade school in the nursery. The smell of the pond at the Rollins on Manal with the frogs in it, and catching worms and jumping on pallets of bales on spring break when school was out. And my dad didn't have daycare, so we went to work. And we brought children up in our business. Deanne's granddaughter, Zoe.
Mm-hmm. Who's now in college. Crazy.
Deanne came to work for us, and she worked for us for a while, and she got the opportunity to take care of, to raise Zoe, her granddaughter. And she said, I don't know what to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I can't come to work. And I said, well, bring the baby. And for the first couple of years, that baby grew up in the kitchen of our house, which was our register area, and a playpen. People came to see the baby. Now they come to see the cats and the birds. And I think it was spring, and she was 2.5, maybe she was 3 years old. I opened up all the doors. Deanne's eyes got as big as saucers. She's like, oh, what are we going to do? I said, I have to open the doors, Deanne. We're open. And again, a godsend. Within a week, somebody came to her and said, I'll watch the baby for a nominal fee, not anywhere near what it was worth. So she grew up in the industry, in the business.
Right.
Amanda and
our boys jumping on bales up and down the soil line.
Helping unload trucks.
Helping trucks.
All but one of my
Pumping
children
soil.
has worked at the nursery for a while.
What's that?
All but one of my children has worked at the nursery, literally worked on payroll.
Right.
And Jeff has had the smarts to avoid it, but he makes more money than us doing less work than we do, probably.
I don't think so.
No, he works just as hard. He works really, really hard. Anyway, so we're off on that. Our roots are beginning where we started. But this program is to answer your questions about yard and garden and houseplants and bugs and critters and where are the silly gnats coming from, and we found fleas on the dog, so we got a treat, and it's 59 degrees and it's the first week of January. Just November was the warmest on record. I haven't seen that that's the case in December, but I believe that it is 20 degrees above normal. We're all hopeful, honestly, that it'll get. I say we're all. Jen's not quite as.
I'm like, I'm loving it. As long as we get some moisture, I don't really care that it's not cold.
Pretty cloudy tomorrow, and then in the upper 50s, and then by next week, we drop into the 40s. In fact, just at 40, 41, 42, and into the mid to lower 20s, which we need some cold. Fleas in January is not good. Fruit flies in the house in January is not good. Jen and I've got the whole kitchen in my house pulled out to the edges and didn't finish trying to find them. They're not as bad as they were, but it's warm weather. And so the lady with spittlebugs yesterday asked, what do I do? I said, if the water doesn't work, I want you to use oil. Jen taught me a couple years ago that neem oil could be used as a dormant oil. I didn't recognize or realize that. So we will tell you to use neem oil because it has fungicidal qualities and insecticidal qualities and suffocant qualities. Oil is used as a suffocant, not as a fungicide or a pesticide. In the toxic area, the oil, all seasons oil, is used as a suffocant. It suffocates the insects. Mm-hmm. And Amanda asked me to get that, and I was like, Amanda's one of our management team, by the way. And I said, well, what about neem? She said, all seasons can be mixed a little stronger in the wintertime.
Right. It's
So
mineral oil. So
it's a little more of a suffocant. It does a good coating. And it's not a toxin. Neem is organic, and Jen just got some toothpaste that's got neem in it. But uh, I do adopt and believe that organic will kill you just as dead as inorganic. You've got to pay attention to labels and what you're doing. But I do, with integrity, believe that using oil will reduce the amount of toxins you have to use later on.
hmm
And I did a class several years ago about insects, and I used the Encyclopedia of Organic Gardening, and 80% of the insects winter over. And this year, I'm going to say most of them.
spittlebug this late in the season is
Right. Any bug this time
surprising.
of year should just not be around, except maybe some scale. So if you use oil and copper, we used to use lime sulfur, but you can't find sulfur spray anymore. You will reduce the amount of pesticides and herbicides you have to use, fungicides you have to use later on. And it will kill a lot of insects that you may not think are wintering over, but they are. I will be surprised if we don't see aphids soon
Correct.
on anything getting new growth. I'm watching plants to start budding out way too early. Again, I'll stop. No, I won't. I'll say it and then we'll go to break. Fruit trees are going to leaf out before April. That's going to happen, and it's going to get cold enough to probably zap the fruit after. That's just the way it is most of the time around here. Richard and Jen from Jericho Nursery, let us know you're out there. Let us know you're listening. My biography, our biography, the company. Yeah, well, we'll continue to talk about that, but we'd rather answer a question that you have, because that fills a need that we know that you are listening and that you have something that you want to know about and we can help you learn about. It's Richard and Jen from Jericho Nursery at 96.3 News Radio KKOB. We'll be right back. Back live in studio. Hey, need to know you're out there. 505-243-3333. 505-243-3333. Jennifer and Richard here taking your gardening questions or critter questions or bugs or what do I do? What do we do this time of year?
A lot of prep. Prep is good.
Prep is good. Given that we put a bunch of soils on sale and prep is good, we have a bunch of classes that are now on our website. And with that said, somebody said to me, yeah, only $10, huh? So I went to 20. I'm going to charge you $20 to come to my class, but for that $20, it's a $20 gift card. I still consider it free. $10 is nothing. The price of living is high and going up. So $20 gift card to come to classes. I am really pleased this year with our teachers. We have brought in everybody teaching a class this year is not us. Now, we'll probably come up with a schedule that's opposite of this one. We do our seminars the opposite weeks of the radio. So our first seminar is next Saturday at 2 o'clock. Next Saturday at 2 o'clock, we are teaching xeriscape and rebates. So the Water Authority is teaching that class. I am really, really pleased about it. And Jen's got it pulled up, so I'll let her talk. Go to the link, go to open the blog, and there's a link for signing up. So next Saturday at 2 o'clock, the Water Authority is teaching xeriscape and rebates. And he's the guy that gives you a rebate. So if you are taking out bluegrass and putting in low water use shrubs, you get a rebate off your water bill. So Jen's trying to find it. You have to open the website, go to the blog, and and there's a link on signing up. So next week and then every other week, starting now until the end of March, we will teach classes. I have the class after that is Steve Bell teaching from Pain and Sunset on pruning. The one after that is beekeeping. That is Papa Bear's honey. The one after that, John Seaver from Just Sprinklers. What's the matter? Can't find it?
I'm not going to say it on air.
Took her too long to find it. She wants it to be on the front page, I probably imagine.
It needs to be in workshops.
Oh, probably that's something little Josh will have to do.
Okay.
Because we've limited what he can do.
Okay.
So we were at John Seaver teaching irrigation the end of February. The Soillutions is teaching mulching and composting and all that the first weekend of March 7th. And then March 21st, I haven't heard back from her, but I'm hoping to hear from her, that Marissa Thompson teaching on pruning roses. So Just Sprinklers, Marissa Thompson, the Department of Ag's queen, the guy from the Water Authority, Christensen teaching, Steve Bell, who owns a pruning company, certified arborist, IBA certified arborist teaching. Really, really pleased. The guy that works and is part of the New Mexico Beekeepers Association teaching. Jen and I will have to figure out if we can do Q&As because that's always a very popular class. And
a color
workshops.
class, probably.
And a color class. So,
And a vegetable class, because that seems to be very popular as well.
so we'll come up with, right now we're scheduled every other week. We will try and come up with another schedule for the opposite weeks of that here in the next little bit of time. So extremely valuable and important classes that we're teaching on just getting ready, getting prepped for the season. Amy, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for calling. What can we do for you?
I'd like to learn a little bit more about attracting bumblebees to my yard and acreage.
I take in a deep breath because I'm like, okay, what? Of course, flowers. Most flowers.
Okay.
But a water source is really, really important. I was shocked because I have a pond and it's a big pond and it's a roaring 2-inch pipe coming out of the rock that makes all kinds of noise and water. And I was like, well, everything that could ever need or want water. I've heard stories like birds can hear moving water for up to a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
And yet, I'm a beekeeper. I have honeybees, and they're in the pond all the time, and they're in the hot tub. They like the smell of funky water, but I don't see birds, and
Birds where?
in the pond
All the
much.
time. I see them.
So I watered this last week, and I was hosing down some stuff, and I was trying to create a place for some worms. And there's a concrete bird bath top on the ground. And I just put a little bit of water in it, happenstance. I wasn't intending to. It was water in the ground, and some water got in there. I kid you not, before the end of the day, there were birds in that bird bath on the ground. So Jen also then wants to make sure that the bees and smaller birds, if you have a deep bird bath, have a way to get to the water.
Right. So the to answer your question about the bringing of the bumblebees or bees of any kind to the yard, you could do things like some cover crops. Buckwheat is a good kind of cooler season cover crop that has flowers that will be available to bees early. Dandelions are a fantastic early food for bees. So we try to discourage people getting rid of them in their lawn because they are such a good food source. Also clover of any kind. So red clover, pink clover, white clover, because it does tend to bloom on the early side when it's cool. So those are good. I mean, during the summer, anything with a flower is really something that you should be thinking of in terms of what's going to attract something to the yard that's going to pollinate. So, but the early season is really important because they don't have a lot in the early season. So any of those early season blooming plants, I mean, we even see them in our greenhouses on pansies in the middle of winter.
Oh wow.
So I would encourage you to think about having some spaces where you can utilize even some of those cover crops that I just talked about. The one thing I will say about clover specifically, if it's red clover, it's very tall, so it gets to be rangy, so you have to kind of be prepared for that. If it's white clover or strawberry clover, it's going to be more of a ground cover, and it will take over, or could. Let's put it that way. So, planning ahead and knowing that you're going to have this area of clover is important.
The other thing, Amy, that Jen and I just do, and I think it matters. There's bee houses. There's little logs, little twigs that have hollow places. But leaving debris, leaving the stuff, not cleaning up the yard in the fall.
Yeah.
Now, if you live in an HOA place or you live in Tanawanda or you live in a place where they're going to wah, 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 you can't get away with it. Or your front yard's gravel and you want it nice and neat, fine. Our yard is a mess. And part of it is it's a mess, but part of it is we have now adopted and adapted and believe that leaving the debris is a place for natural habitat. Natural flowers, natural plants, late bloomers, early bloomers, all really important. The beekeeper that helped me said
Clovers and buckwheat. I live out here in Moriarty, and will buckwheat go ahead and, if I planted some now, would it go ahead and grow since it's so warm?
I think you'd probably be okay. I would actually, because we will probably get a pretty good snap, I would imagine, of cold in somewhere in February, more than likely, or this month. I would be a little careful out there because you're definitely cooler than we are here. So you want to be a little bit careful, but you could easily start it in early February, I think, and be fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And will it come up and bloom soon enough to be bee food?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thanks.
I'll
for
give
the
it a
call.
try. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
No. Bye-bye.
Some people look for dandelion seeds. Most people are looking for dandelions, and our place are looking to kill them. Then, like Jen said, it's best if you cannot do that. Better completely if you don't. Steve, good morning.
Hello.
How
I'm calling from downtown sunny Edgewood.
Oh, good. Thanks for calling. What can we do for you?
I have some pinyons, some ostrins, and some ponderosa pines that have got limbs that one you can't walk under them anymore.
Okay.
Well, they're almost on the ground. When's a good time to trim those back? I know it's getting close.
Anytime in the next 4 to 6 weeks. I'm
Okay,
going to say
all right.
next weekend gets really cold here, so it'll be colder there. We want dormancy. Your sap flow is dangerous when you're cutting when it's warm. The guy teaching my
Yeah.
class the end of January, Steve Bell, tells people, hold on. I'm going to tell you, wait till next weekend. We're going to be in the 40s for the high instead of the 60s. So
Yeah.
dormancy, but the other thing is lower branches are branches that are going to dunk you in the head or cause a trip hazard. Take them off and hope for the best. But dormancy is the
That's
best
the
time.
problem.
Yeah.
But
If you,
they've grown so long, and
they
I
just
even
got
tried tying some of them up so I could walk under them by my sidewalk, and now, gosh, they're like 20 feet long almost.
I
Right.
think I'd take those all the way back to the trunk, and I think I would do that next weekend.
Yep. And the big thing to do when you do any kind of pruning like that too is water them afterwards. Give them
Okay.
a really good drink afterwards for a lot of reasons, but partially because we don't tend to water our plants enough in the wintertime, but also it's stress on the plant whenever you do any kind of trimming. I don't care what it is. So water can help alleviate some of the stress just in general.
Well, I also have some spray to spray on the nub.
Don't do that.
I would
Don't-
not do that.
Don't do that.
Let that plant heal on its own. It's better for the
Okay.
plant. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. I won't do that then. Alrighty. Thank you very much.
Thanks for
And
calling,
by the way,
Steve.
it's 55 degrees in Edgewood right now.
Unbelievable. Yep.
Wow.
Thanks for the call. Jen said it's warmer here than it is up there, and Jerry just said it was warmer in Santa Fe than here in Albuquerque. So, one of our integral, one of the things integrity that I added to us, because I don't know what the integral is. Integrity is I carried pruning paint for people like Steve who said, I want pruning paint. Okay, I'll sell you pruning paint. We do not recommend pruning paint, and so my tongue-in-cheek was, yeah, if you want it, I'll sell it to you. But if you ask me if I should use it, my answer is going to be no. So we discontinued it. We're not going to sell you something we don't think you should use. My previous manager used to have people come in quite often and say, I'm trying to kill bees. He's like, yep, not me. I'm not helping you. I'm not going to tell you how to kill bees.
No.
We may help you kill hornets or wasp nests if it's at the front door, but those are pollinators and healthy as well. If your landscape is sterile and void of life, something's wrong. Something ain't right. You ain't right. That's what they say. That might be going into my new ad too. You ain't right, are you? Richard and Jen from Jericho Nursery here at KKOB News Radio, KKOB News Radio, KKOB. Stuck on whatever I'm stuck on. We got to cover our advertisers and talk about who they are and what they do for us, helping offset the cost of this program. Richard and Jen from Jericho Nursery taking our break. Please give us a call at 243-3333. It's 96.3 News Radio KKOB. We'll be right back. Always looking to follow that from Madrid to the Manzanos. LM Madrid to the Manzanos. 505-243-3333. Thanks for calling. We appreciate the calls. John, good morning. How can we help you today?
Yes, I was just wondering, since you guys are, you guys sell plants. I was wondering if you know where I can find some pinon trees that I can plant.
We carry piñons. Jerry's like, he should come right away. I only have 2. A gentleman came in this last week and bought 8. He bought me out. So I will get more. I have a guy that digs them for us. He's a great digger. The trees are really healthy and well kept, but my selection right now is 2. So I would tell you to come back hopefully in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, and would it be an all right time to transplant them into the ground at this time?
You know, given how warm it is, as long as you can dig a hole out there, you can plant. They're in containers above ground. They're safer in the ground. So yes, if you can dig the hole and you're willing to water, it's important that you water in the wintertime. You should be fine.
Okay, and one other question. I just got 2 cherry trees, a Tartarian and a Bing, and is it okay to plant those as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Better planted than in pots, honestly.
Okay,
and again,
perfect.
if it were...
All right, thank you much.
Thank you. If it were a normal winter, I'd say wait, but it's not, and it's warm enough you should be able to plant. So, we're struggling to find seminars on the website. We'll fix that. The seminars start next week. There is a workshop thing that my son is supposed to put them on. We will be posting it on Facebook and Instagram later this afternoon. They start next week with the Water Authority teaching on xeriscaping and rebates, and we'll make those adjustments so you can find it. The entry fee is a $20 gift card, and we think that it's worth the $20 gift card for you to come and learn from the professionals. Just Sprinklers is teaching on irrigation, and he's going to bring a bunch of freebies. John loves to teach these classes, and he's teamed up with Soilutions and does something that is really, really good for the community. You just go to either Soilutions or Just Sprinklers. We screwed it up a little bit the first time, but just put Soilutions as the contact. Either one now. They will pick up your Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you have to call them, or do you have to
do it on
the website?
You have
right?
to do it on the website. So you schedule a time. You put your tree out. Let's say it's Tuesday. I don't know what days. I think there's a period of time, and I'm sure it's on the website from now till the 10th or 12th of January. Anyway, it's a shortened window, but they will pick up your tree and they take them down to Soilutions, and Soilutions mulches them, and they either go into the forest floor mulch or into the compost.
Mm-hmm.
So John's teaching a class, and then I think right behind him, Wendy's teaching a class. Wendy Blair's teaching. So John's from Just Sprinklers, and he sells all Soilutions products in bulk, in totes. And you can go down to Soilutions and buy bigger quantities if you want. And the more she talks about her product and how much she knows, the more intrigued I am and interested in her education. So she's teaching a class on the furrows they have and the temperatures and the bacteria that cause the decomposition process. And they partnered up with somebody that helped them learn how to bag their product a little better, neater on pallets for us on the receiving end. It doesn't matter to you, but always looking to improve. So Just Sprinklers will pick up your tree, turn it into mulch. They just want you to leave out some canned food, and they'll donate it to some food banks. And you can go to justsprinklers.com. Or you can go to Soilutions.com and sign up for pickup. They'll pick up your tree and turn it into mulch. And what did John say? Let me pull it up because it's worth the read, I think. He said something about, here it is. Give your tree a second life. Actually, I think it's a third life, right? It was grown to be a Christmas tree. It was cut down to serve its purpose in your house. That would be purpose number 2. Supporting industry, being local in the United States. Up in Oregon, they grow these trees on tree farms. Then we put it in your house, and then instead of just ending up in the dump or the backyard or in a fire pit, it ends up as compost and or mulch. So giving your tree a second life. Go to Soilutions or Just Sprinklers. You heard Bacchus trees. I used to tease a little, and I'm still a little intimidated almost by saying this. I used to say when I grew up, I want to be like Bacchus, I want to be like Just Sprinklers, but we are like them. We are trying to do the right thing always. And Bacchus trees, you can hear them. They're really about, and my new ads are going to try and be this way too. Here's what you should do. Here's what you can be doing. Here's what you ought to be doing. If we can help along the way, let us know. Let us know when you need a job that's outside of your parameters of professionalism or the task that's bigger than you want. We've had Bacchus trees do work at every property that we have anything to do with that touches us. We have them come in and they prune, they'll shred the mulch as well. I've got mulches for sale if you want cedar or cypress, and there's a specific reason we carry those. If you want free shred, you can get it in front of Bacchus trees. They just grind up whatever they grind up, but you get what you get when you get that. If you've got a North 40 that you don't care about, the stuff can set for a long time in compost, great. If not, you want a cedar or cypress because it's prettier and it's a little bit of a bug deterrent with the cedar and cypress qualities. We've got those in bags for you. Covered all the sponsors. Bacchus trees also cut and dry lumber. They're now using their products they cut down and making furniture out of them. Or you can buy slabs. We have a coffee table at our house. It's amazing. Jen picked out a log and they turned it into a table with turquoise and varnish and blue in it. It's amazing.
It is. Yeah. And I mean, talk about people who not only are being clever and doing something different with their product, but they also have a free pile of mulch at the end of their driveway that is replenished every day, basically. And sometimes it's leaving logs out there for people to take and split on their own and have their own firewood. I mean,
when they did work at the nursery, they took down a couple of big trees, and it was wood I wouldn't use. I don't want to burn elm. I think it stinks and it's spoiled. I use cedar and pinon. But they took down the trees, and I was going to piss and moan about it. I was going to be mad about them leaving the logs. The logs were cut, and I was like, oh, I can't believe they left them. I got to clean up the mess after I paid these guys to do it. And I wish I remembered who it was, but one of the landscape companies pulled up to the railroad tracks off the road onto the sidewalk and started loading up the logs. And I was like, oh, thanks. There's some more over there. They said, oh, we know. We have a deal with Bacchus. If they don't have a place for the wood, we collect it, we split it, and we give it to people in need, mostly reservations. And I was like, wow. So they even had taken it to the next step, which is we'll donate this firewood to people, and had a landscape company come and pick it up and split it and donate it. So glad to be part of the people that were around, and that we all tend to, again, want to do the right thing. 505-243-3333 is the number. Thanks for the call. We got calls every quarter, which was what we're looking for. We've got one more if you want to try. If you don't want to try, if you want, you have time to get in at 243-3333. It's Jennifer and Richard from Jericho Nursery on Alameda. Go to jerichonursery.com. Join our loyalty program. Become part of our community. And check us out, jerichonursery.com. We'll be right back after this final break. We're right here at 96.3 News Radio KKOB. Back live in studio, 505-243-3333. Good thing I don't have my lisp. 505-243-3333. And thanks for the comment. Didn't want to be on air. Just said, hey, I'm learning a lot. Love your show. Is that Corinne?
Hi.
Good morning. Thanks for calling. Making sure I got your name right.
You did, as always. Hey, so listen, a couple of weeks ago I called you about the Devil's Backbone plant, and I was given some great information. Couldn't get into Albuquerque to take pictures, but I sent them to you.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you can tell me a little bit about them.
That's a mother of millions. We've got one at our house that those little things on the side are babies. It's called a mother of millions because those you can make new plants out of. Really easy, bright light.
They make their own. They make their own friends right at the bottom of the plant. So yeah.
Jen and put it in a bigger pot so that the babies would fall into the pot. We've got babies growing. Surprised, it's wintertime, shortest days of the year. The thing is, I cut the top off because ours got stretchy, and the top, it's about 2 feet, and I cut about 6 inches off, and the cutting and where I cut it are now blooming.
Or at least trying to, yeah.
Yeah, trying to bloom. So you can we just rub those leaves off. I'm annoyed with our cats at our other home because I put them in 6-packs. I got them all growing. I started watering enough. They all got grown. It's on a table next to the windowsill. The table next to the windowsill is the stepladder for the cats to get into the windowsill. So they ruined all my mother of millions. I might try to do them up at the other place where they're at.
Well, I now have something to look forward to, and that's their bloom.
Yeah, it's orange. It's pretty.
Kind of fun little thing. But you can just take a piece of paper or something or your hand, and they'll rub right off. Those babies will, and you can have them drop into the pot beneath, or you can try and propagate them in some sort of airy medium soil, a seed starting mix. Our potting soil is a peat moss base. It'd be a great mix for starting.
Well, thank you as always. You guys are such good educators when it comes to plants, and I love going to your shop. It's almost an hour drive, but it's worth it.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Corinne.
you.
Appreciate the time. Appreciate the call.
You bet. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. If I could get enough people to do testimonials, that should be my ad, right? If they would just say, it's an hour drive and it's worth it. The people that come to us tell their friends and neighbors, and the best advertising I can get. We spend a lot of money on advertising. She wants to know what we're going to do, by the way, tell them, is when somebody says, my neighbor told me, or my friend, or my family member. I can't buy that. When somebody has got enough conviction that what we do is the right thing to do, and 2 weeks ago when the lady on the other end said, I love you guys. What you do is authentic and genuine, and it's honest, and we can tell, and you can hear it in us. And I'm looking to put that in some sort of advertisement, to say it that way without sounding like I'm being a cheesy advertisement guy. I want it to be an Apple commercial. I want it to be a Toyota where you feel the love. And maybe it's just being genuine and honest and saying, hey, this is who we are. This is what we do. We hope you can appreciate and support us when and where you can, because we're happy to do it. We're happy to employ a great group of people that mean the world to us. We do more than we should for most, and everybody ends up staying beyond their expiration date. We don't recognize, hey, we should probably help you make some changes here. We should probably figure out how to help us grow to be bigger and better, and help all of us support each other and be behind each other. And sometimes the business just gets in the way of what we really want to do, which is helping you grow. Mm-hmm. And the people that work for us, those are the ones that matter the most. Those are the ones we're trying to help the most. And then we want them to help you, and we want everybody to feel like worth every bit of it.
Right.
I'd have paid twice. Oh, then I should charge twice. Oh, I did. Yeah. Seminars are going to $20 gift cards. We will have it easier to figure out on the website here before the end of the day. There are 6 seminars right now. We will have 6 more. We'll have at least 3 or 4 more in the next coming weeks. But there is xeriscaping, pruning, beekeeping, irrigation, soil,
roses,
and professionals in every capacity in every level. 20 seconds? 30 seconds? 30 seconds. As always, happy New Year. Thanks for being part of our day, allowing us to be part of yours. Thank you for coming onto our program. Thank you for allowing us into your home. Thank you for spending an hour of your day right here. Come to the nursery at 101 Alameda, just east of 2nd on the railroad tracks. Go to JerichoNursery.com. Sign up for our loyalty program. I promise it'll be worth it. We'll probably give you a discount to these seminars if you're a loyalty member. That might be worth it all right there. Jennifer and Richard from Jericho, once again, thank you. And we're out till next time.